All right, so whenever you think about choosing stand locations, you got to think about what time of the year they're using this area, how they're using it, and when are you going to use it. Okay, whether that be the pre-rut, early season, or is this going to be my cruising rut stand location? For those, I like to use funnels and stuff where deer that are going from point A to point B are going to go through. When the woods goes crazy and a buck is chasing the doe, you have a hard time to pull that buck away from that doe. So when they're running around and she's just trying to bitch him, I want to get to a spot where they will go through there, and you'll catch those cruising bucks that'll go through there as well. So the other aspect of it is the post rut. When the majority of the breeding's done and they're getting ready for their next round of breeding, in December, am I going to hunt? How am I going to hunt that? Or are they going to be in this area? So whenever I do that, the biggest factor that I look at is the wind. Not necessarily how will I not be scented, but how are they going to use the wind to come here, right? And sometimes that does leave me vulnerable in the stand location, because a lot of times my scent is blowing in a direction they could be coming from, but they wouldn't be coming from that direction if the wind was going somewhere else. Okay. All right, so let me elaborate a little bit on the safe direction of the wind. So if my bedding area is behind me, and I'm just going to say this scenario, I know the deer are coming this way. If that is my stand location at that tree, when the wind starts to blow, if I was expecting, I want them to come from this direction, the safe direction of the wind would be blowing it that way. All right, take that, I don't want my wind blowing into the bedding area. Take that out of the equation for this scenario. So if the wind's going that way, odds are those deer are not going to come up this way to scent check. They're going to swing around and get their nose in the wind to actually scent check the bedding area. So it's going to pull those deer away from your perfect scenario, because they're not naturally going to do that. Yeah, it's a good setup for you and the wind direction is blowing right, but the deer aren't always going to do that. So you kind of got to pick and choose very selectively of your stand locations and when you hunt them. I like to use the wind in the deer's favor, like my scent blowing somewhat in their direction, but you have to have good scent control. You're never going to be scent free, but it's more natural. I see more deer that way. Maybe I don't want it blowing directly in their faces, but maybe off to a little bit where they still feel comfortable coming up this direction to scent check. That's how I operate, and that's how I select it. So hope that made sense. All right, so from this stand behind me, I got a bunch of doe bedding. I hinge cut this ridge top in little pockets, and it goes for probably about another 150 yards. And it's on the south facing slope. So whenever it gets cold, they go into that thick stuff and they bed there because it's warm on that side. That's the side that the sun's on. So I capitalize on that. I'm sitting pretty close to a logging road that runs perpendicular, and it's really heavily used for scrapes, mainly because, during archery season the wind is predominantly coming from the south. So it's downwind of this area. Even though the wind's kind of blowing in a different direction today, they still make their way through here and scent check these scrapes before they get into the bedding. So hopefully we get an opportunity at one. Alright, so what I want to show you in this video is how I hunt aggressively with the wind. The wind is always in the deer's favor, but I just set up a little differently so that my scent does not hit them directly in the nose. And you're going to see one of the best hunts that I've had in 2017.
just had 2 bucks chase a hot doe in. They were little bucks, but she came running up, and then I heard him, one buck grunting behind her. And then when I seen him, he was kind of small, but he ran past me. Then I heard another grunt, so I was like, oh, this could be something. But it's a buck about the same size come up. They ran to the bedding, and I watched the one buck, the first buck, breed her, and then they took off running back down this way, and I got some footage of them, but they were just going absolutely crazy, busting through crap over here. If that's not enough to bring a deer in, having these live decoys out in front of me. We'll see. Hopefully she was hot, and there'll be a cruising buck come through. But what I need to do is I need to get ready for the same trail that doe came up on, because if anything comes up here, he's gonna be trailing her.
Alright, so what you're about ready to see is not me falling out of the tree stand, but whenever I was putting my camera back on the tripod, I didn't secure it good enough, and it comes tumbling to the ground. And as soon as my camera hit the ground, I look up, 50 yards away, there's a shooter buck standing there on this logging road. It starts heading my way, facing me, and it gets 10 yards away, and I'm trying to turn my Tacticam on, and it turns, and I'm still trying to get my bow and everything squared away, and I finally get my Tacticam on whenever he's about 30 yards away, and here's the footage.
Okay, so I filmed that little segment, and then I went to set my camera back on the tripod. I dropped my camera, and then as soon as I drop my camera, I look up, and I see this buck coming in, right the same way I just said. He followed that doe. He come up to me, and he was going to be a perfect shot. He was 10 yards from me, but he was looking right at me, like facing me, and he was licking his lips trying to smell this doe. Then he caught wind of it, her trail. Then he circled back around. He stopped at like 25 yards, and he had a branch right in his kill zone. I was trying to get the Tacticam to turn on. Then he walked about 20 yards from me, followed that trail that doe busted through, and away he went. That was a shooter. Hopefully I got some footage on the Tacticam that you could see him, but dang it. Let's see what else comes in. Maybe that doe will come running back through here and bring those bucks with him. It's 10 o'clock. Had a small buck come in, but there's squirrels barking on the ridge across from me. So I'm hoping something's walking over there too, because I don't think they would have spooked from him.
So as you can see by the footage, I decided to take my recurve out on this hunt. Now I'm kind of regretting this decision because my comfort zone is 25 yards with my recurve, and on this logging road I would have had a 12-yard shot, no problem. If everything would have gone how it was supposed to, it would have been a different ending to this video. But as you can see here, most of my shots are past 30 yards, and I'm just not comfortable shooting that far with my recurve, so I just let the camera do the work.
Okay, I just had a nice buck come in. I'm gonna have to turn off my camera here soon to save battery. I gotta get out of the woods by about 2 o'clock because I got night school tonight, and not this class. So that doe that came through early this morning, she screwed everything up in a good way. Her trail, she went through some real thick stuff about, 20, 25 yards away. And every one of these deer has been coming up and hitting her trail, her exit trail, and going right through that same stuff. And it's not giving me a shot. I would have moved if I would have thought that guy would have came in. Man, that was a nice deer. Nice deer. I had him turn. I rattled a little bit, but I don't think he's going to come in. This time of the year, the does are the determining factor. You just never know what you're going to see. Alright, I'm going to climb down.
Alright, so what you're looking at right now is I am actually staring at a buck. Alright, I come down off the ridge and I seen a doe bedded there. And she didn't see me, but this buck, I seen stand up behind her and he's looking at me square in the eyes. We're making eye contact. She has no idea I'm there. And he wants to leave, but she's got to be hot. He's staying with her. So my only hope is that she gets up and walks towards me and he follows her. But as you'll be able to see, when they decide to leave, they bust out and he knows where the danger is. He kind of goes up and over this other ridge.